In Ukraine, President Trump is pursuing talks, but in West Asia, it's the opposite. He is using the military option. The US began bombing Yemen on March 15th. Their target, the Iran-backed Houthi rebels, and the attack has been relentless. Pentagon officials say they have been bombing every day and every night. One such attack took place on Sunday. The US military has published videos of this operation. They show fighter jets taking off from the Red Sea. Over in Yemen, there was extensive damage. Buildings in the capital Sana'a were struck. At least one person was killed. Take a look. This is the 10th day of the operation. But what is the objective? What is the US hoping to achieve? That was explained by President Trump earlier this month. He wants the Houthis to stop attacking ships. Remember, this was a big problem last year. The Houthis targeted more than 100 ships in the Red Sea. Their goal was to build pressure on Israel and the West to make them stop the war in Gaza. The plan may not have worked, but it completely reshaped global shipping. Shipping firms stopped sailing through the Red Sea. Instead, they took the longer route. They sailed all the way around the African coast. And this adds around 10 days to the voyage. But companies wanted to be safe. President Trump is hoping to rewind these changes. He wants ships to sail through the Red Sea again. Let me quote his national security advisor. This is what he said. 75% of our US flag shipping now has to go around the southern coast of Africa rather than going through the Suez Canal. President Trump has decided to hit the Houthis and hit them hard, as opposed to the last administration where weeks and months would go by with these pinprick attacks. In other words, no half measures. Donald Trump means business. He wants to bring shipping companies back to the Red Sea. A, it will cut down voyage time, and B, it will reduce costs. That is the plan. But are shipping companies ready for this move? Well, none of the big ones are. Danish shipping giant Maersk is not returning to the Red Sea, nor is Hapag-Lloyd or MSC. They will continue sailing around Africa. What they want is a clear signal, maybe a comprehensive peace deal in Gaza or a significant weakening of the Houthis. The US is clearly focused on the second scenario. They want to weaken the Houthis. They have been targeting Houthi leaders and missile sites, yet the group remains defiant. They have launched multiple attacks on American warships. Yesterday, they also fired a ballistic missile at Tel Aviv in Israel. Air raid sirens rang across the city, but the missile was eventually shot down.
The missile force of the Yemeni armed forces targeted Ben Gurion Airport in the occupied Jaffa area with a Palestine to hypersonic ballistic missile. The operation successfully achieved its objective, which led to the suspension of air traffic at the airport for more than half an hour.
So the Houthis are not de-escalating. Of course, Trump could increase the intensity of the strikes, but that too has its downsides. One, more civilian casualties. Already more than 50 people have been killed. A lot of them are women and children. And secondly, it would make the Houthis more dangerous and desperate. The question is, does Donald Trump want to risk that? An easier option is to pursue peace. The Houthis had stopped attacking ships in December last year. After the Gaza truce in January, things were calm. Not even a single incident had been reported. But this month, they threatened to restart the attacks. You see, Israel was blocking aid to Gaza, so the Houthis wanted to build pressure on them. And that's when Trump ordered the strikes. But in this intervening period, things were looking up. In February, around 200 ships passed near the Yemen coast, and this was up from 144 in February last year. But of course, down from the usual 500, which was before the war. So things had slowly started to improve, but now we are back to square one. What happens next depends on multiple factors, like how much escalation is Trump okay with? Will Israel scale back its operation in Gaza? And will the Houthi backers in Iran advise caution? It's certainly not a straightforward situation. On the one hand, you do not want to encourage rogue groups like the Houthis. You give in once, you set a precedent. On the other hand, You don't want to make things worse. It's a delicate situation for President Trump. Let's see how he navigates it.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.